Welcome to, I think, the first episode of the year 2026. My name is Bonora Mutusi, and I am the founder and chairperson of an organization called The Safe Space.
Come on.
But I'm also the founder of Growth is Greater Than Comfort, newly qualified CA and a master's graduate.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, Miss Ma'am.
And now I have a lovely lady. I think this conversation has been long coming, and I'll allow you to introduce yourself and we can get into it.
What's up? How y'all doing? My name is Anesu Michaela Mautsa. I like to refer to myself as the impact architect. I am a digital marketing specialist and a lover of people and a lover of life. I think that's the best way to describe myself. I love life, I love people, and yeah, I love impact. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this show.
No, thank you for honoring the invite. I think I was like, ooh,
super excited.
Who am I going to record with as the start? And yeah, man, I am forever grateful that we met, and we met in a social setting actually,
exactly.
But we just clicked, and I think that's why this conversation means a lot to have it with you, because I think we relate or we get each other in certain aspects. So the topic of today, or the conversation, is about friendships or relationships. Is it a friendship or is it a forced relationship? And for me, I've identified, a gap or a miscommunication in relationships that causes breakdowns, where you get to a point of like someone coming to you and say, "Where's Bonora?" And you're like, "Oh, I don't know. She just cut me off and I don't understand why." It's not a good thing. I think we've normalized it. For me, it breaks my heart because people have normalized miscommunication as a thing. They've normalized isolating themselves. They say, it's me time. They've normalized the thing of, I text you on Monday, you respond Saturday. And you told me that you are busy. Yes, we are busy. Life is hard. I'm not taking away from the fact that life is hard. It is not easy. I myself have gone through like a period of isolation just now. I've just come out and said, you know what, it's because I've been sick. It's just to my friends, I communicated and I said, I don't like, or I don't feel good you asking me every single time, how are you? And it has to be the same response. I am sick,
I'm not well.
Because I can see, even my doctors, it was discouraging to them that I'm not getting any better. So imagine your friends and family every single time, how are you holding up, what's going on? The response is, I'm still sick. It's still the same thing.
I'm still like,
do you understand?
I'm the same way that
I got to a point of like, you know what, I'm gonna isolate myself, deal with this. Maybe it will be a bit better for me when I'm dealing with it on my own. But not as a form of I'm cutting you out. At least you know that I'm not feeling good. This is what's happening. At least you are in the know. Not that I picked up and left and you don't know what you did wrong
what's happening
or what happened. I think we always love saying this, that we don't owe people anything. You actually do. Because God created human beings to be in community, to be in fellowship with each other. And once you do not take up your role in someone's life, or you do not take possession of what you need to take possession of, there's a breakdown. That's why you find in church there is a pastor, there is a prophet, there is someone who intercedes and all of that, because they need to work together.
There's an entire team behind that.
So people now living a life of, I don't need people, I'm fine on my own. It's just, I believe, I'm not diagnosing people, but I think it's a trauma response. You haven't had friendships where you feel safe. So what do you think?
100%. You said a lot of things there. I think the first thing that I want to call out is communication, right? So you decided to communicate to your friends, hey, look, I'm not well. And I think that's one thing that we don't do. We don't communicate. We don't know, like you said, we don't know how to resolve conflict. And I want to be like, I will call myself out here when I was younger, much younger, before I got into the personal development world. When someone upset me or did something that I didn't align with, I chose to cut them off instead of going to them and resolving the conflict and having a conversation about, hey friend, you said this and it didn't land for me. And now, and I think back then I didn't have the language to do that. And you're right, the culture says you don't owe anyone anything, you don't need to, but I don't believe in that. So when I started learning how to resolve conflict, when I started learning how to find the language to call things out, and when I started establishing that or bringing that into my friendships, number one, my friendships are healthier. Number two, I have friends that I know are authentic with me and real with me. So just like big ups to you for communicating. Hey, you know, when people were continually asking you, how are you? You know, you communicated, I'm not well, I'm still, you know, and then you let them know, hey, I'm gonna take a break. And I think that's important. The second question, or the second thing that you asked, what was it about? We spoke about like teams and having community and the importance of community. I feel like people do not understand the importance of friendships. I feel like we undermine friendships. For me in my life, so I'm big on friendships. My friends are the loves of my life, guys. My friends are the loves of my life. I've had a lot of friendship drama in my younger days. And now I feel like I'm in a season where God is showing me how good can it get. Like I've got people that love me. I've got people that show up for me. I've got people in my life that in their deepest moments of grief have been able to show up. People that are dependable and reliable. And I think that's also part of being a friend. Being a friend means I care about how my behavior affects you. It means I care about, you know, our communication style. I've got some friends, I know how we communicate. They're phone call people. I'm a voice note person. Another person is a texter. You need to know your people. And then you cultivate and establish that. So I think that's my answer in a nutshell. Those are my thoughts, my first thoughts that came up.
But another point I want to bring on the table is, you know, me and my friend discussed this and talked to each other and said, if only women were as gracious to each other as they are to their romantic partners.
Come on.
How many times has someone forgiven their romantic partner?
Imagine.
And they are still willing to make it happen or make the relationship work.
But a friendship is the first thing you'll let go
you'll be like, I cut her off. You know, we feel like it's something that you can replace. And nowadays, you can't, honestly. Let's be honest.
Crazy work.
In adulthood, it's harder to make genuine friendships. Because you don't know whether people are coming into your lives for, I don't know, for clouts. Or they know, but no, oh my gosh, I'm just going to tag along with her and see where this thing goes. And they don't care about Bonolo, the person. You know, if only us as women gave each other so much grace. And also the men give each other so much grace in their friendships and relationships. You know? And then the second point I would like to make is that I think people have made other people their responsibilities and not looked at themselves as like, I'm the first responsibility. I should be the main responsibility, actually. I should look at myself and say, hey, I actually realize in friendships, I'm actually less forgiving. And why is that? You know, maybe I'm impatient. And why is that? Because that's how you identify that, me as Bonolo, certain things trigger me. And I communicate with you and I say, look, when you do something like this, it makes me feel a certain type of way. You know, I was listening to a lady I love so much. I don't know if, it's Mel Robbins. She has a podcast. I love her so much. She had a guest and they were speaking about friendships and they spoke about 3 pillars. They said symmetry, support, and, you know, secrecy. That when we feel like we are together, people love actually doing this toast, and when they're like, never above you, never below you,
always beside you.
And I don't think some of them register how powerful that is. You know, because if I'm competition is good, but if I'm competing with you as my friend, competing with you not in a way that builds you up. The Bible also speaks about this, that you need to build people up according to their needs. 100%. Not according to a mold that I want you to fit into my life. Because then I'm manipulating you. 100%. It's not a friendship. That's why I'm asking, is it truly a friendship? The third thing is
forced connection. Forced connection.
It is. And another type of forced connection is when I realize that if I don't greet you or if I don't check in with you, you don't do the same. So it's a thing of you're waiting for me.
That one is a tricky one.
Effort into my life. But where is the intimacy? Where is the consideration? Why do I have to make the first step? Yes, it takes two to tango, literally. And when I realized that, I decided, you know what? I'm stepping away from these type of people. This is where you can say, I choose myself. Because the longer you keep on pouring onto other people, you miss that opportunity to pour into yourself. When I could just reach out to someone who's gonna pour back into me. Not me feeling like I'm alone.
I'm building. I like to say I'm putting the scaffolding on the building myself. I'm building the house myself. And you're just gonna come when it's convenient for you. To come sit in the house. I'm doing the scaffolding by myself. Putting the brick, laying the cement by myself. No.
It gets tiring to a point. I think you can.
We're not doing that.
Someone also said we need to check in with each other. Like, hey, I'm at a 20%. You are at 30. We combine and you become better. Because let's be honest, you're not gonna always be 100. There is no such thing. People say 50-50 in relationships,
but it can't always be there. Sometimes there's an 80-20, like you're saying. 70-30.
Sometimes it's even 20-20 because life is life.
Sometimes it's 1% 90, 99% 1%. You know what I'm saying?
I'll quit that on. You understand? Checking in, I understand that. Oh, this is where Anesu is. Then I can give grace and room for it. But it's also not dependent on me to give you that grace. It's also for you to give me that grace to communicate and say, hey, I am like this at this state, and it's because of 1, 2, 3. It lets me know that, okay, you still trust me with your vulnerability. Because once I feel like I'm not your safe space or I'm not a safe space for you, then why are we in this relationship in the first place?
I hear that. I definitely hear that. The last point is actually such a big one for me, because I've always been the poorer in relationships, because that's just how I love and that's how I give, and I love that about me. But in the past, I had a lot of friends that did not pour into me and I can't expect them to necessarily pour into me in the same way, because I know that I also do, like, I do a lot and I enjoy doing a lot, right? I'm a girl of a lot. But what I realized, especially last year, because there was a period where I got sick, and I watched to see who thought about me, who checked in, hey, how are you? Just a simple how are you? I'm not saying come to my house and whatever,
buy me flowers,
you know, but I checked to see, okay, around important events, birthdays. I'm a big birthdays mean a lot to me. I am big on that. Important events, any celebrations, when I got my place, when I, those things that are important to me, who actually shows up? And that's how I realized, okay, where is this person in my life? Oh, sometimes you need to rearrange where people rank. So I've had to do a lot of that in my life, and the effort thing is a very big thing for me. And I think once people that weren't actually putting effort into our friendships left my life, the friends that I have now, like I said, I've said this earlier in this episode already, but I'm like, whoa. Like, I've got people that now I'm now experiencing the benefit of having people that actually pour into me at the same level, if not more. And I feel like I think there are a lot of quotes on social media, I don't know if you've seen them, where they say, there's better romantic relationships out there. Like, you can experience good, healthy, wholesome romantic relationships. I feel like that about friendships, because now I've experienced it. What I thought were good friends back in the day, like what I have now and the way that I see things now is so different. And they're better, they're good, wholesome, healthy relationships. So the point you made about actually assessing this situation, who's pouring in, are we actually, are we extending grace to each other? Is there mutual effort? Is there reciprocation? And if you see that those things are not there, what are we doing kicking dead horses? Why are we're continually pouring into people that...
It's just shy. I love saying it's shy now. And I think sometimes you're a great person, but you're not great for me. I think that's what we don't realize in life. I think everyone that comes into your life, you think you have to make it work. And but sometimes it's not that. You don't have to. Like, you can be a great person, but not be a great friend to me, and that's okay. That's why you find that you'll be with someone 10 years and there will be no marriage, and then they find someone in 6 months they're married, because
it happens like that.
It happens like that. And I think people I also need to include myself and say, I need to start accepting that not everyone deserves or needs to be in my life. I listened to the lady was speaking about boundaries, and she was like, the reason we are so disappointed in relationships, friendships, is because you give the wrong people the wrong responsibilities and the wrong roles in your life. You need to match the role and responsibility. If you're someone who shows up, I need to give you that responsibility of showing up because that's what you've built up.
Yeah.
That's the expectation that I've built of you, that Anesu shows up.
Yes.
That I'm able to identify that, nah, man, Anesu has been quiet. What's happening? I saw it when she's an acquaintance, but I would love for us to be friends. She might know who she is, she might not know. But she checked up on me more than my friends. Sure. You know what she said? She said, I realized you are not on LinkedIn, you're not on Facebook, you're not Instagram.
You're not posting on your WhatsApp stories.
You're not responding on WhatsApp. Like, this is
what's
not
happening?
the
Something
I know. Something is
off.
And I was shocked. I was like, the fact that you realize this, but you've not been that intimate with me.
You're not like my friend like that, but you like, now I see, oh my gosh, you pay attention.
Exactly. But the people who are expected to see that
are not there.
It's because the roles and responsibilities are not aligned. And sometimes it needs a conversation, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you say, okay, I've realized this, and it's okay to step away. Yeah. Some relationships do need a conversation where you need to say, you know what, this is what I've observed, and I feel like for me, it's time for me to take a step back. So that the person knows. One thing about this life as well, you will find yourself trending on TikTok when someone is bashing your name. Yeah, and listen, they will be going only to find out that,
this could have been a conversation, babe.
I didn't think of it like that.
This could have been a conversation.
Exactly. It's supposed to be like that, let it be like that. But you have to ask yourself, if I don't say anything in this relationship, if I don't show up, do I receive that love? Because then it's transactional. I give, you give me. I don't give, you don't give me. Then what are we doing here?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel that fully. Like, geez, matching roles and responsibilities is a big one. I think I've gotten my heart broken so many times by expecting the world from people that really weren't, they did not have the capacity, and so that was a hard lesson for me. Where it's like, dude, stop expecting this from this person. This person has showed you that they can't show up. They're not concerned about your well-being or the things that matter to your heart or your safety. You have to let that go. So there's a lot of heartbreak in that realization. It's very sobering that this person actually can't show up for me, and this friendship is not a friendship. But in that shedding, it, like, when you shed that skin, that old skin, you're making room for the new friendships, people that do show up. And I love what you said about how that point where, like, someone will be with someone else for 10 years, a 10-year relationship, and then, you know, they don't get married, and then the next thing they're with someone for 6 months and they immediately know. And I feel like I'm, like, right now in my life, that is exactly what I'm going through. All the people that I thought, like people from high school, people from varsity that I thought, this is my entire bridal team, were no longer friends. Like, all of it. These are 15, 12 years of friendship. I'm no longer friends with these people at all. But the people that I've connected with now in this season of my life are like, it feels like, where were you my whole life? Like, no ways. No ways. And I don't even need to force. I don't need to try. I don't need to. It's like it's a mutual understanding of what showing up looks like, what being a friend looks like. You know?
Exactly.
And I think you're so blessed to have had that, also that person check in on you. You know, that person checking on you without, like, from noticing, just noticing your silence. I think that's so beautiful, and I think that's part of love. That's part of friendship. Like, I actually see, oh, you're not necessarily yourself, and I'm not jumping to, oh, she's mad at me, or oh, it's about me. No, there might be something that's going on with her.
Yeah, others were like, I thought you blocked me. I'm like,
homie, it's not even about you, bro. I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life, bro.
That was crazy. Like, you said something about how you thought the friends that you had were the be it all and all. You thought that's friendship on its own. And I think this is what I want to say, that we need to be more open. It's difficult, yes, especially when you've been hurt, when you've been bent in friendships. You no longer want to have friends because you're like, nah, mate, it's not worth it. But in order for you to have experienced this friendships that you're experiencing now, it's because you opened yourself up to it. You understand? And you know, we never know what God plans or has in store for your life. He says, my thoughts are not your thoughts,
neither are my ways.
So to limit, we have billions of people, if not trillions. So there is no way that not even one person is able to give you that that intimacy, that safe space in friendship. You just need to allow yourself to be open. And it's okay once you get burned. It's okay. It is life. You take it as you go. You take a lesson and you develop. And another thing, life doesn't have a manual. Like there's no way that you're gonna know certain things unless you've experienced them.
Exactly.
Like someone telling you about heartbreak, you're like, oh my God, sounds hectic, until you experience one. Then
and then you know,
like, okay, this is what we are talking about. Same as you learning how to set up boundaries. I feel like it's something that you learn as you go. Like I didn't have boundaries for the longest of time in my life. I was never taught boundaries.
Same, girl.
But once I set up the boundaries, people think it's easy for me to cut off people. I'm like, no. It's not easy to cut off people. It hurts. But what's easier now is being able to choose myself in situations.
Yeah, come on.
Back then I couldn't. It felt like, I'm what's this? Not loving people the way God
I'm
says.
hurting someone else by choosing me.
But not looking at they are hurting me. Are they really worth the friendship? So I think that's I think the last or second last point I want to make. The other point, or my last point. My last closing remark.
I've got a question for you before you. So after you do your closing point. Okay, should I ask you now? What is your opinion on picking sides, right? So I had a conversation with a friend of mine last night, who's like a recent new friend. I've known this girl for so long, but we've just we just connect. And we'll be on the phone for 3-4 hours, right? Talking about everything, right? So I was talking about like picking sides. You know how people say it's childish for you to, if you have a fallout with a certain group of people and you're still friends with one of them, and that person is still friends with those people that you had a fallout with. What is your thought on that? Do you believe in picking sides? Are there fine lines? What is the nuance, and what is the fine line then?
That's actually interesting. For me, it depends. Right? That's my answer. It depends. And the reason it depends, for me, I take people for who they are and what they've shown me.
Okay.
If you're someone I know you don't have boundaries, my friendship with you is done. First of all, whatever I share with you
is going to be
transferred outside. That's the first thing. Are you someone who I feel like holds a space for me to be who I am and to be authentic and to know that whatever I share with you won't be used against me? If you're someone who I've experienced you sharing my things outside our friendship, or I've known you like for you to share about other people's lives, then what's holding you back from sharing my life with other people that maybe I don't want you to share with? So that's where I stand. It depends on the type of person that person is. If you're someone where I feel like I can't trust you fully, I'm not gonna bother. Because it's like I'm always gonna be questioning you, and it's also not gonna be nice on you because you're gonna feel like you're withholding. Maybe I don't feel like I'm your friend enough. Maybe you'll always question. Now you are making her or him insecure. And it's not because of them, it's just because you are so uncertain about what could happen within that space with the other group.
Okay.
That's how I feel. How do you feel on it?
Tricky. I've always been a person that chooses sides. I'm loyal to the T. But
even when they're wrong.
I think I need to assess the situation, right? So it depends what's gone down. But I think I am not comfortable if you are, let's say you and I are friends, right? And we were all friends with another group, but those people and I fell out. Generally, I'd be like, if you choose to be friends with both sides and you want to play both sides, I'd be like, okay, let me take a step back. But now, depending on how close our friendship is, what I had to learn in that situation was I can't throw away our entire friendship just because I have beef with them. But that is very nuanced because what happened with them? What did they do? What did they do to sorry, this just to confuse me a bit. But what did they do to me? What are they saying about me? What is the actual situation? Because if you're going to be friends with people that intentionally hurt me, that intentionally don't like me, that intentionally have done things to hurt me, it doesn't sit well with me. That's why I'm like, I get what you're saying. It depends. It depends. And that thing that you're mentioning about holding back and not being able to be like authentic and real because you don't know what's going to be shared with those other people. 100%. That's why I struggle with it. But I'm still Yeah, I'm really struggling with that one because I've always been a pick sides. Like I will pick a side real quick. Like I'll look at the situation and be like, and then I'll pick my side.
Yeah.
Right? But now I realize it's far more nuanced than that. Like you need to know what the full situation is.
Yeah.
And then assess.
Yeah. Another point, or like for you to sit with this is, for me, if you can sit with people that I don't like or don't like me, what makes you
don't like me.
What makes you feel comfortable sitting with those people?
Yeah.
Because at some point I'm gonna be the topic.
Exactly.
You can sit
That's
with
what
that.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
At some point, and that's the truth of the matter, and that's the hard realization for me.
Yeah.
I tried to be mature. You know how people, if you pick sides, you know, you're not mature. I've tried.
Yeah.
I've tried to be mature and not pick sides, but the behavior that I've noticed with someone that's friends with quote unquote my enemies.
Yeah.
The behavior that I've noticed is you're actually you're not loyal, or they, like you said, when you can tell someone has a lack of boundaries, homie, you know your business is going that side also. Like your friendship really is basically done. It's shy, like you said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In my closing remarks, I'll give you a chance to say yours. For me, this conversation was important because of the breakdowns in friendships that I've seen, and how easily we can switch off and say, I've cut off that person. But when I ask you, have you had the conversation with that person that you've cut off? It's a no. And why? You don't have a reason. You know, it's easy now. People are just like, I'm cutting off this person. Especially it's because of like the personal help pages, no problem with them. They've made people feel like they're their own God. You idolize yourself. You are on this high pedestal. Yeah. But you need to come down to earth and realize that people are people. And that's why we have sin. It's because there was a breakdown between us and God. You know, and that's where we need to go back and see, what does God want for my life? Because this is not who I'm supposed to be. I just go around cutting off people. I've been that person. I'm not gonna lie. There are people who are gonna listen to this and say, you are the last one to be talking about this. But it was deserved. For me, it starts small and it builds and builds.
For you to have to,
and then I cut
off. So essentially, for you to have to cut off someone, it must be something that was like, like
I can't work with this anymore. Yeah. Those are my closing remarks.
Same. My closing points would be, I've got many. Number one, like, guys, friendships matter. Like, let's stop acting like they don't matter. Friendships matter. And treat your friendships like you would put in the amount of effort you would put into that relationship. Put it into your friendships as well.
Fixing.
You want to fix, you extend the grace, put it into your friendships as well, because those are the people, for me, the way I like rate people in my life these days and the way I rank people, who would carry my coffin? Who are the people that I want at my wedding? That's how I rate my friends. And I know these are the people I would trust. Who are the people that I want to have influence over my kids when I do have kids? That's how I rate how close I am to someone. Who shows up for me? What is showing up for me? Okay, so that's my first thing. Number two, have discernment. I used to be friends with so I've been on the end of like cutting off people immediately. When they do something wrong, instead of conflict resolution, I'm a big believer in conversations now. I agree with you in terms of what you said about not everything requires a conversation, but I do believe that if someone's really important to you, give them the you know, and yourself also have that conversation, end that thing, and it's gonna be hard. And that won't land. Sometimes those conversations won't land for people. I've had a conversation where I ended a best friendship with a person for 12 years and I said, I don't want to be your friend anymore because of the behavior that they had. But I felt like I needed to say that and it needed to be clear. You know? And then number three, discernment, like I was saying in that previous point. You discern, you know, and it's through the hardship, it's through the friendship breakups, it's through the pain and the experiences that you go through. Then you learn how to discern what is a good friend, what's a good friend for me, you know, what do I need? Because we all have different needs. Someone that may be a good friend to me may not be a good friend to you because you have different needs from me. So discern and view people's behavior. Like you said, you take people as they come, you look at their behavior and you assess, is this a person that I want in my life? Is this a person?
Yeah.
But my lens right now, I'm in a phase, I don't know about you, because I'm in my 30s now, I'm in a phase where I want deep-rooted friendships. I don't want surface-level friendships. I don't have time or capacity for, and my deep-rooted friendships also have, like, we have light times when we can talk about rubbish and laugh. But these are also people that in my darkest days, when I am sick, when I'm hurting, when I'm depressed, these are people I can call. These are people that have my parents' number on speed dial. And that's what I'm looking for in friendships. I can't do the surface level empty friendships anymore. So those are my closing points, 5,000 of them, but thank you for listening.
In essence is when you are down and out, who is there for you?
Who's there?
Like, what's the point of having so many people in your contact list but feeling alone?
And purge that list. Check that list. Every year, beginning of the year, I go through my contact list, delete, go through your socials, remove, cleanse yourself, and then pour into those that,
Thank you so much for joining me. I love this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you so much. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear about your experience. Tell us in the comments, and also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
Come on. Bye.